In a boardroom at Google 3 months ago, an AI system generated the perfect marketing campaign in 12 seconds. But when the executives presented it to their biggest client, they got fired on the spot. Want to know why? Because while the AI nailed every metric and optimization, it completely missed the one thing that mattered most: the human soul behind the brand. This isn't just another story about AI taking jobs. This is about the hidden revolution happening right now, where certain human skills are becoming more valuable than ever before, and most people have no idea it's happening. I'm about to show you the 5 skills that AI will never master, and more importantly, how you can develop them starting today. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some people are becoming irreplaceable in an AI world, while others are getting left behind. And trust me, the gap is widening faster than you think. Let's start with something that sounds simple, but is actually the most complex human skill we possess: storytelling. Now, you might be thinking, wait, AI can write stories. ChatGPT can pump out narratives all day long. But here's what AI fundamentally cannot do. It cannot live a story. Every powerful story comes from lived experience, from the messy, unpredictable, deeply personal moments that make us human. Think about the last time a story really moved you. Maybe it was a friend telling you about their biggest failure, or a CEO sharing their journey from bankruptcy to success. What made it powerful wasn't just the plot points, it was the vulnerability, the specific details that only someone who lived through it could share, the way their voice changed when they talked about the hardest parts. AI can analyze millions of successful stories and create something that follows all the rules, but it cannot create meaning from chaos. It cannot take the random, painful, beautiful mess of human experience and weave it into something that resonates with another human being on a cellular level. This is why the most successful leaders, entrepreneurs, and creators in the AI age won't be the ones with the best technical skills. They'll be the ones who can tell their story in a way that cuts through all the digital noise. But storytelling alone isn't enough. Because once you've captured someone's attention with your story, you need something even more powerful to keep them engaged: emotional intelligence. And this is where AI hits an absolute wall. Emotional intelligence isn't just about being nice or reading facial expressions. It's about understanding the invisible currents that run beneath every human interaction. When you walk into a room, can you sense the tension between 2 colleagues who had an argument yesterday? Can you tell when someone's enthusiasm is genuine versus when they're just being polite? Can you adjust your communication style in real time based on what you're picking up from the other person? Here's what makes this skill so valuable in an AI world. As more of our interactions become mediated by technology, our hunger for genuine human connection intensifies. People can sense authenticity from a mile away, and they're desperately craving it. The leaders who will thrive are those who can create safe spaces for vulnerability, who can navigate conflict with grace, who can inspire people not just through data and logic, but by making them feel truly seen and understood. I watched this play out recently with a startup founder I know. She was pitching to investors using an AI-generated presentation that was statistically perfect. The slides were flawless, the market analysis was comprehensive, the financial projections were optimized. She got polite interest, but no funding. Then, she threw out the AI presentation and told her real story: how she built her first prototype in her garage while working 3 jobs to support her sick mother, how every failure taught her something crucial about her customers, how this wasn't just a business for her, but a mission to solve a problem that had personally affected her family. Same company, same numbers, but now with genuine emotion behind it. She raised $2 million in the next month. This brings us to creativity, but not the kind you're probably thinking of. Everyone talks about creative skills like design or writing, but AI is getting pretty good at those. The creativity that matters now is much deeper. It's the ability to make unexpected connections, to see possibilities that don't yet exist, to combine ideas in ways that create something genuinely new. Real creativity comes from the collision of disparate experiences. It comes from having lived in multiple worlds, from understanding different perspectives, from being able to hold contradictory ideas in your head simultaneously. AI can remix existing patterns, but it cannot have the breakthrough moment that comes from years of seemingly unrelated experiences suddenly clicking together in a flash of insight. The most creative people I know aren't necessarily the most technically skilled. They're the ones who've lived the most varied lives, who've failed the most interesting failures, who've developed the courage to pursue ideas that seem crazy to everyone else. In an AI world where everyone has access to the same information and the same tools, your unique perspective becomes your most valuable asset. But creativity without judgment is just chaos. And judgment might be the most undervalued skill in our current moment. We're drowning in information, drowning in options, drowning in AI-generated possibilities. What we desperately need are people who can cut through all of that and make the right call. Good judgment isn't about being right all the time. It's about knowing how to be wrong in useful ways. It's about understanding not just what the data says, but what it doesn't say. It's about reading between the lines, understanding second and third order effects, having the wisdom to know when to trust your gut over the algorithm. AI can process vast amounts of information and identify patterns, but it cannot account for the things it hasn't seen before. It cannot understand context that isn't explicitly coded. It cannot make the kind of nuanced decisions that require wisdom, not just intelligence. The people who develop exceptional judgment become the ones everyone turns to when the stakes are high and the path forward isn't clear. This leads us to perhaps the most crucial skill of all, leadership. And I'm not talking about management or authority. I'm talking about the ability to inspire people to move toward a vision they cannot yet see, to maintain hope in the face of uncertainty, to make difficult decisions when everyone is looking to you for answers you don't have. Leadership in the AI age isn't about having all the information or being the smartest person in the room. It's about being able to navigate ambiguity, to help others make sense of rapid change, to create stability and purpose in an increasingly chaotic world. It's about understanding that while AI can optimize processes and analyze data, it cannot provide meaning or direction to human beings who are struggling to find their place in a world that's changing faster than they can adapt. The leaders who will emerge in the next decade won't be the ones who can compete with AI on its terms. They'll be the ones who can do what AI cannot. Create environments where humans can do their best work, solve problems that require wisdom and empathy, and build cultures that nurture the uniquely human qualities that become more valuable as technology advances. Now, here's how you develop these skills, because knowing about them isn't enough. For storytelling, you need to become a collector of experiences. Say yes to things that scare you. Travel if you can, but more importantly, have deep conversations with people who are different from you. Keep a journal, not just of what happens to you, but of how those experiences change you. Practice telling your stories until you can make people feel what you felt. For emotional intelligence, start paying attention to the emotional undercurrents in every interaction. Practice reading body language, tone of voice, what people don't say. Most importantly, develop your own emotional awareness. You cannot understand others until you understand yourself. For creativity, diversify your inputs obsessively. Read books outside your field. Learn skills that have nothing to do with your career. Engage with art and music and ideas that challenge your assumptions. Creativity comes from having a bigger toolbox of experiences and concepts to draw from. For judgment, seek out feedback on your decisions, especially when you're wrong. Study your failures more carefully than your successes. Learn to distinguish between being confident and being certain. Practice making decisions with incomplete information, which is the only kind of information you'll ever have. For leadership, start wherever you are. You don't need a title or authority to practice leadership. Lead projects, volunteer, mentor someone, create something that others want to be part of. Leadership is a practice, not a position. The future belongs to those who can do what AI cannot. Create meaning, build genuine relationships, navigate complexity with wisdom, and inspire others to be their best selves. These skills have always been valuable, but in an AI world, they become your competitive advantage, your insurance policy, your path to irreplaceability. The choice is yours. You can compete with AI on its terms and likely lose. Or you can double down on your humanity and become more valuable than ever. The humans who thrive in the AI age won't be the ones who can think like machines, but the ones who can think, feel, and create like only humans can. Start developing these skills today, because the future is coming, whether you're ready for it or not.